Just in time. Greetings, everyone. I'm Luke Bryan Smith, and welcome to Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved, where we educate, motivate, and liberate you through enlightening dialogues, empowering music, and evolving content. I hope everyone's doing well and everything is unfolding perfectly. I'm excited yet again because I have another extraordinary guest who is the creator of Relationship Repair Language and author of the Relationship Repair Language. Wow. As an emotional repair guide, she helps individuals, couples, leaders, and teams understand the unmet emotional needs that drive conflict, disconnect, and misunderstanding. Her work bridges emotional intelligence, attachment, nervous system awareness, and practical repair tools to help people move from reaction, wow, to connection. Without further ado, allow me to introduce to you Laziena. How are you doing today,
I'm
Laziena?
doing wonderful. Thank you.
Yes,
Doing
yes. I
great.
just want to say that I believe that time is one of our most precious assets. And
Mm.
for you to decide to spend even a moment of your time with me here in the history of your timeline, I want to extend my sincerest gratitude. Thank you for being here today at this
Thank you.
present moment. Thank you. Because
Yes,
that's all that matters. Just
yeah,
moment right now. That's
we're
all that
here right
matters.
now.
Yeah, right now we're safe. Right now we're at peace. Right now, yes, we're doing what we're supposed to do. And like I said earlier, no matter what our minds try to um, put a label on this happened, it's my fault. Everything is unfolding perfectly. I appreciate the gesture of accountability, but no need.
Thank
We're
you.
here and we're here at the exact time we're supposed to be here.
Yeah,
So amazing. Yes, yes.
I
So
relate to everything you just said.
yes, thank you. I appreciate it. So let me see. I'm gonna get back into I lost your information, and I'm okay with saying that live on air because it happens. It happens. Okay, so let's get right into it. Give us a little insight as to how you became the creator of relationship repair language. What events, if any, inspired you, you know, to take a passion um, in regards to relationships and all that. Just give us a little insight, and then the conversation will build from there. But
Yeah.
how did this come about?
Well, it happened because some sexual abuse happened in my family, and it broke up my family, and I was at a place in my life where I was like, okay, well, that happened, but what was my part in it? Like,
Mm,
how, why didn't my daughter feel safe to come to me, right?
wow.
And I was just at that time, I was on the verge of losing both my other two children, and my oldest daughter just moved out and gone because she didn't feel safe, and I was like I was working part-time. I didn't have a career or anything, and I was like 38, and here I am like, what? And now I'm solely responsible for everything. This is a life-changing thing. What happened? So
Right.
as I started to unpack all of that, it was difficult because it did separate me from my children, and the risk of losing them. I was not okay with that. And then we
Wow.
had going to court in order to get custody of my youngest children was a battle in itself.
Wow.
So as I started to look and see what my world was, I started to see, okay, I'm repeating generational pattern.
Mm.
I'm so sorry.
WhatsApp audio.
Mom,
Yeah.
please silence your phone.
No, it's okay. Look, the way that I do this show, it's authentic. Life happens, and it's not. There's no robotic part of it, so this is all fine.
Yeah, thank
We're
you.
living life.
I,
Life is still happening, even though we're on
yeah,
this show, and it's fine.
yeah.
Everything is
So
okay. Go ahead.
yeah, so to the minor interruption, yeah, I just kind of found myself looking. I was like 38, and I'm like, okay, so my father was was murdered when I was 8 years old, and
Oh,
then my
wow.
mom had to take care of three children. So here I am, three kids. My spouse is no longer in the picture.
Mm,
What do I do? How am I participating in this? So I started learning about my attachment styles. And when I did that test, I was like, wait, well, what did I do to my kids? Because if I'm learning that from 0 to 3 is when we learn our emotional safety and our nervous system learns safety, then I have a role in there. When I think back on it, I was very angry. I had a
mm,
lot of rage inside of me because by age 6, I believed that I wasn't wanted by my dad, and I made a lot of choices and decisions to reinforce that, and that came out in a lot of anger. So when I'm angry and I'm frustrated or I'm overwhelmed or I'm feeling resentful, what does that look like to a newborn? What does it look like to a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old? And now here's my daughter that's 18 and my twins are 11. What can I do now? Is it all done? Do I have a chance of redemption here? Can I change this?
mm,
So I attended an inner child workshop, which got me to see how I became my father's rage and how deep these wounds are and how they show up at work and in every situation. So I started to apply the knowledge that I gained to my kids. So I'm noticing that my daughter has an avoidant tendency, and so do I. So when we're in conflict, while I know it's her nervous system that's reacting, and I know that it is her there's all these unmet need that happen. Why can't we still come back together now? We understand inner child work. What is still happening? So I started to just really kind of sit and observe and really pay attention to, okay, there's something that happened in childhood. It was a deep emotional impact that happened, and it didn't there was no acknowledgement of it. So
mm.
it's
Okay.
being able to go back and acknowledge this for my kids that I'm
Right.
able to, kind of correct that course
Right.
and be with and have redemption.
Right.
So it also meant that my children had to be an active participant
Right.
in this because their nervous system is also at play. So we learned about our love languages, we learned about
Right.
our attachment styles, but there was still a conflict.
Right.
So
Right.
I started to like, okay, if my daughter nervous system is being heightened the minute I raise my voice. What
Right.
can
Right.
I do? What is my relational responsibility here? Am I just
Mm,
gonna get mad at her, set a boundary, walk away from her, or tough parenting her? Or am I gonna look at this like, okay, there's an emotional need that needs to be acknowledged. As the parent, I need to model this to her. She didn't learn emotional safety from me because she learned the opposite of it. So I
right.
started to kind of like, learn how what makes her nervous system feel soothed so that when we are having a conversation about accountability or just to kind of clarify what's happening or understand each other better, maybe texting her first instead of approaching her is going to make a
Mm,
difference.
wow.
And then, like my son, he taught me a lot about being really present and in connection. Sometimes we get into arguments and he'll get frustrated and he'll walk away. Well, I also learned that because I coddled him as a kid, and then he has two sisters. Three powerful women was speaking on his behalf, so he lost his voice. So what do I do
Right.
now in conflict when he's gone? And what he likes is to have some space. And when he comes back,
Mm,
for us to actually talk about how we both behaved, how we both were affected, and what can we do with the new information that we learned. So it's
right.
no longer him coming to me and telling me how he felt, and then me feeling shame and speaking from that shame, which I will be like, oh, so I'm not a good mom, oh, I'm the bad guy. And that doesn't bring connection. It just makes him more resistant to feeling
Mm,
safe and coming to me.
mm,
And the same thing with my oldest daughter. Sometimes she just wants to go back to those moments and acknowledge, like, Mom, when you were really mad and you were raging and you were throwing things or whatever it is, it really made me feel like I'm 8 years old again and I'm scared and I'm going into freeze and I'm carrying all of
right.
this emotion.
Right.
And she doesn't want me to solve it. She just wants to be heard. Like
Heard. Right. To be
take myself
acknowledged.
Right.
Right.
Take myself out of that. feeling attacked or feeling the shame of I'm not a good parent, and give her an opportunity to feel listened to like you would a friend, not
Right.
bringing any solutions or defending. So it just kind of evolved over like 5 years of actually practicing how I can show up better for them. At first, there was a lot of guilt and shame because I
Right.
wasn't proud of that. And like
Absolutely.
you talked about at the beginning of the show, we're right here and right now. If I'm living in the past, I'm living in hurt. And if I'm living in the future, I'm still anticipating something to come rather than
Mm.
being here. So here and now, we're in conflict. What can we do to stay? Not to run away from each other, not to walk away, because we can have a 90% really good relationship. And then
Right.
that 10% of being upset is when we make decisions to walk away. So how do we stay? How do we stay when it gets difficult? Because after that 90 seconds of feeling a really intense emotion, softness happens. And we
Hmm.
don't necessarily need to put up those boundaries as walls. We can have boundaries as bridges. Like, okay, when
Right.
you are reacting, I'm not able to communicate with you in the way that feels safe to me. Can we talk about this later?
Mm.
Versus
Wow.
yelling, 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 And there's also spaces where we can create that safety, because I understand the importance of allowing an emotion to process through.
Mm.
So if
Allowing it.
somebody,
Yes.
yeah, so
Absolutely.
being,
Not denying it, not suppressing it, because there
yeah,
are, and not to cut you off, but you're
go
saying a lot of important things, or things that, from my perspective, are important and worthy of being, um, highlighted. Is oftentimes we have been taught to uh,
ahead.
suppress emotions and to try to eradicate them, like they're not going to happen. No, you're not going to get rid of these emotions. They're part of you, but you can learn how to navigate through them. Don't think that you're ever going to get to a point where you never become emotional, you never become angry. We're humans. We experience an array of emotions, and that's always going to be. That's how we are. That's genetic. But you are tapping into ways to thrive within these emotions. And when things are happening, maybe not address, depending on how you're feeling at that time, maybe this isn't the right time to have a conversation. And that's okay. That's okay. You know, yeah, it's okay to come back and address something when your initial emotions are heightened at the time. They say don't make any important decisions when you're angry. Don't speak when you're angry. Don't say anything to someone when you're angry. Wait,
Yeah.
and then come back. And it's okay to even express that. Hey, I was very angry. This is why. So, and I think we can come to better understandings when we're able to agree. Number one, agree to disagree. Number two, don't be afraid to address those emotions and to observe them, that they happen, and to learn from them. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's why things happen, is for us to learn. We can learn about the situation and learn about ourselves. And what another thing, and I haven't forgot, that really stood out to me is that, and I can't recall everything you said, but what stuck out to me is when things were going on in your life, you're basically saying, what role did I play in this? Now that is from my perspective, is a place that a lot of people don't even get to. You know, they always see what's outside of them, or always are looking for blame and victim mode. Not saying, and not saying that things don't happen to us, or that other people don't do things to us, but there's nothing you can do about that. You can only control yourself. And so you might start looking inside as to what part of me connected with this in the first place. What part of me allowed this to trigger me? What part of me was involved in this, or whatever, or may have attracted some element of this, or whatever. But that's empowering when you, like you said, use the word, take accountability, because that's when you can grow. You
Yeah.
can't grow by saying, "Oh, it's your fault, that fault." That's not how you grow. You grow by
Yeah.
saying, "Okay." Yeah, maybe that was wrong, what you did, but what part did I play in it, and why is this, am I allowing this to trigger me, or did I react or respond to that in the correct way? Just all kinds of ways, and it seems to me you're at a place in life where I'm not saying, and this is for people out there, that everything is always perfect in your response. We're always seeking perfection, but we're imperfect and perfect at the same time. Things are happening the way they're supposed to. Um, not making excuses for anyone, but at the same time, don't be so hard on yourself. Learn and then
Yeah.
do better. Uh, and when I say do better, do things more aligned with your peace.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying. No, not better in other people's aspect, but what aligns with you. So
Yeah.
there's always, we always have that voice to say, no, that doesn't quite sit right, the way you responded, the way you dealt with that. So we know when we what we mean by doing better, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, living a
Yeah.
healthier, more aligned um existence. So
Yeah.
yeah, I commend you on that, on
Thank
just
you.
being a person of awareness, and able to just really just analyze and highlight these different scenarios and emotions, and filtering that to your children as well, so that they understand. And that's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. I thank you so much, and I received that because it took a lot of hard work to get there, a lot of
Right.
emotional labor to get
Absolutely.
there.
And you're
But I
still
want,
working. You're still a work
yes,
in progress. Yes,
exactly, and that's
exactly.
the beautiful part of it. I
There
feel
you
like
go.
there's something that you said, and I want to touch on that, right? No matter what where we are on our healing journey or the journey, we can become spiritualized, we can become philosophical, whatever arms of the universe we want to
Right.
participate in, we get there. However, part of the journey is to be human, and to be human in the journey is to be in relationship with one another. That's how we grow. So we're always going to have emotions because these are such strong messengers. Anger taught me where I had lacked boundaries, where I was out of alignment. Well, shame taught me where I was out of alignment. Regret, remorse taught me the path to redemption. These are all beautiful, beautiful emotions. So when we embrace these emotions and we have a language, so let's say I'm upset or I'm angry, and I communicate with you ahead of time. We sat at the table and we said, how do you behave when you're angry, sad, resentful, overwhelmed? And what is the support you need? I have a language for that. So when now I can, if I notice that you're angry, you, I can just come to you as a supporter and say, Luke, you said that when you're angry, you may need to take a break or you maybe need a vent session. You want to go outside and let's take care of that because now I'm allowing you, I'm supporting you. I'm not offering you a solution and say, don't be angry. Look at how you're behaving, or, look at all the beautiful things that can come out of it, or don't feel this way.
Right.
I want to create the space where you can feel that anger out for yourself so that you can get the lesson that you need and feel supported. So even if you're angry at me, I care about you enough to understand what you're feeling so that we can work through it. We're not fighting each other, we're fighting the thing. And so
Right.
how do we do that if we never had the language? We weren't taught. We don't even know what most of our emotional needs are. So we're
Right.
like, Loot, I don't know what my emotional needs are, but you are responsible for meeting them. And then when you don't meet them, I'm going to be upset with you. And so I feel like we go through the cycle after cycle. And I'm like, no, um, the one thing that we want to do is to be able to create that safe space so that we can allow us to go through what we need to go through.
Mm,
Sometimes my daughter and I, my youngest and I may end up not talking for 2 weeks or so, but the container is safe because she
mm,
has to allow herself to see what's coming up, allow herself to be angry, allow herself to move through that and see how her patterns are coming up too.
mm.
Because even on the reparenting journey, she has to be able to see where that reparenting is needed. I can be there to support, but I can't fix it. I can't make that mean more to her. And that's her life lesson to have. I just get to be a part of it. And we get
Right.
to, in some ways, our inner child get to grow up together now. We're not enabling, we're not stopping, we're just being really real and in the moment, even when it's hard. We're
Mm,
committed to the relationship. We're committed, we have relational loyalty. And to me, that is a beautiful beautiful gift that I got because I allowed myself to feel and suffer and have agony
Right.
and understand despair. I wouldn't know what
Absolutely.
gratitude is, you
That's
know.
where the real growth happens. I'm not saying this in a way for people to um, falsely orchestrate negativity or conflict, but that is where the growth happens. If everything seemed like it's just all perfect and you will have no vantage point, no context to learn, to grow. And so, in essence, everything that we go through, that gives us an opportunity for growth to grow through. So that's it right there. So,
Yeah.
especially when you become aware of this and you're making your children aware of this, and now it's in there in that mindset, then they know. So it doesn't matter, like you said, that connection is not going anywhere because we know that we're not the enemies. It's let's focus on eradicating the thing. It's not us,
Yeah.
so that's amazing, and thank you for clarifying that, for not only myself but our viewers and listeners, that's a very um, important aspect of growth, is realizing that focus on eradicating the actual issue instead of blaming
The
one another,
person.
instead of the person. Yeah, it might have filtered through that person, but okay, how can we learn from this and overcome this and stop this, like you said, the cycle? Because we will continue to go through the same things, whether it's with that person or someone else, until we learn what we're supposed to learn. It'll continue to happen. And not saying that it will stop then, but you'll be better prepared to it won't be such an abrasive journey when you're prepared and you've learned how to navigate through things with non-attachment and yeah,
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. And it's such a delicate process, right?
Right.
Because if like this guy, he's a psychotherapist in the 60s in the UK. His name is John Bowlby, and he did the study about theory of attachment. From 0 to 3 is when we learn our emotional safety and our nervous system safety. So by 6, if our limiting belief is stuck, and then our 13-year-old is like, oh no, I'm never doing that. And then our 17-year-old is like, okay, this is who I'm going to become in the world. When
Right.
someone is angry, I want to know what happened between 0 to 6. I want to
Right.
understand that.
Right.
And I didn't know that for myself. Is learning about it for myself is how I'm able to see that. So when someone is angry or frustrated or resentful, I'm more thinking about what is it that they need.
Mhm.
Before I used to attack and feel
Right.
attacked.
Right.
And yeah, so now it's like when I think about it that way, now I'm more curious about what their experience is because it shows up at work, it shows up in relationship with friends, with our kids, with
Yes.
our especially our spouses,
Right.
because we're gonna trigger every single thing in each other. We're gonna see each
Right.
other at our worst and our best, and when we're not really allowing ourselves to receive love from one another and give love, the saying is that our father energy teaches us how to love ourselves, and our mother
Mm,
energy teaches us how to love others. Well,
right.
if we saw our mom never really receiving love and shying away from who she really is, and our dad maybe not be present, everybody has a different experience, then at that very core age, those have already happened. So I can't now go into relationships without caring about someone's feelings and
Mm,
wanting their feelings to be honored whenever they have it. So I'm like, okay, I let's make a language. And I created a test and you have a book and you have me and I have workshops so you can have all of the things that you need so that you know what your emotional needs are, you know how to ask for support, and most importantly, how to give those needs to myself first. So that way I'm not making it someone else's responsibility, you know? So that's kind of the pathway that it led me down.
absolutely. Wow. Amazing. Amazing. Yeah. So we're down to about 2 more minutes, but before
Okay.
we go, how can you also I wanted to highlight this too. You also are an author of a book. Tell us that title and how can we find that? And yeah.
So the title of the book is A Relationship Repair Language. It
Mhm.
is on Amazon, and I you can find it on Amazon, but if you go to my website, laziena.com, there's many resources I have on there because I also have some da workbook downloadables for teenagers who are wanting who, sometimes teenagers don't want parents' advice, but they can have a workbook that allows them to know what their needs are. For people who are in the attachment styles, there's also repair for that. So there's many downloadables and resources on my website, and then you also have a way to connect with me.
Absolutely. And your website is what again? Could you
L-
repeat that again?
Lazina.com.
And that's
Z
LAZIENA.com.
dot com.
Be
Yes.
sure to click that website, and I'll
Yes.
be sure to incorporate that link, your website link, in the description of this when it's all edited and uploaded to the various platforms. But yes, yes, I would definitely. It would be my honor to have you again because I have a feeling that you and I could have another conversation and keep going on a broad
Yes.
spectrum of things. We seem to, from my perspective, align on a lot of different areas. And
Yes.
yes, it's so refreshing to be able to speak with someone and engage in a dialogue. And it flows like this. And not saying you have to agree with everything someone says. Everybody has different perspectives, but when there's some common ground there, and there's some, and that growth, and there's some similar experiences as to what you are going through or have been through. And I can pick out and relate to a lot of, you know,
Agreed. Same.
what you said, so what you
Yeah.
expressed. So it's amazing, and it's very refreshing and very therapeutic to me to
Thank
just
you.
listen to someone such as yourself. Yeah,
I
share.
receive, I receive, I receive.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I
So
spend way too much time not receiving, so taking it all.
absolutely. And yes, you in the receiving, you've given so much today with just your examples, with your perspectives, with just your knowledge, what you've learned through personal experience, through personal growth, through extensive study. And that's what I pride this platform on being. It's just people, basically, if I could put it simply, just people that are helping themselves in some way. And when I say some way, some capacity, that means any way. It could be emotionally, it could be mentally, it could be physically, health wise, it could be financially. Just elevating people is my main objective in some way, to help people to basically align with themselves, align with whatever they want to manifest in life, and just to live a you know a peaceful existence, and to be able to not to know, and you're a prime example of this, to know that things are going to happen in life, but we have the tools and we can learn how to navigate through them
Yes.
instead of focusing so much of, oh, I don't want this to happen again. I don't want to feel like this again. I don't know, it is going to happen again. You are going to feel like that again. That situation is going to happen again. But this time, you know how to get through it,
And you have support
and you
along
have
the,
support.
yeah, and we get to have the human experience together.
There you go. So there it is. I can't say any more than that. But thank you again,
Thank you.
Laziena, for being here, and for just, yeah, being a shining light in this existence, in this experience that we call life. And I appreciate you very much.
Thank you. Thank
Yes,
you.
and thank you everyone for watching and or listening. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, share this. Not only help the platform grow, but help get this information out there, and then help my guests' platform grow, their her endeavors as well. So I appreciate
Yes.
everyone, and yes, enlighten, empowered, evolve, love and appreciation. See you soon.